All right, my name is Joe Lattarulo. This is my dream company. It is called Over the Years. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. So, what is Over the Years is why. So, the why is to give couples, sibling, friends, anybody with a relationship a day that they will remember, an experience they will remember. So, a way it's set up is a family member will set up an appointment online with our financial team member. They will come in, meet with a company artist, and set up an outline for what their rooms are going to look like. There are up to 5 rooms. Each room symbolizes a different stage or event. So this could be a graduation, this could be a marriage, this could be an athletic commitment, this could be anything special, and it's going to be symbolized 5 rooms starting at in the past and moving closer to the present or closer to that big celebratory goal. So each room is going to have multiple TVs where submitted videos and pictures by the client are going to be played in a montage edited by the company editors. Families will have 30 minutes in the session to walk through the amount of rooms that they had paid for to get through. And like I said, this can be used for not only one event, it can be used for multiple events. So what is Over the Years and who's a part of it and where's it at? So the purpose is, like I said, to provide a nostalgic experience. We're not selling a product, we're selling an experience. So the location, I thought it'd be fitting in Belden Village. There's a high influx of people there with restaurants in the mall. The size ideally would be around 4,000 to 6,000 square feet, and it would be standalone. I want this to be kind of special and a one-off thing. All right. So who is Over the Years? So who's a part of it? We have a number of employees, but only 20 to 25. This is a smaller business, and I want it to be personal and be able to communicate with everybody. I want everybody to know everybody. So there's going to be 2 head managers that oversee all goals and directions, and they're assigning people specific assignments, and they're going to be directing where the goals of the company should go. And then we have 8 artists. The design of the room is on their plate, and they're going to be using the clients collaborate. They're be collaborating with the client to do that. And then we have 10 editors who are making a montage with submitted videos and pictures from the client. But they're also going to be running our social media as well. They're the ones that are going to be pushing our stories out to the public to hopefully drive more sales. And then finally, we have 3 financial team members. These are the ones that manage clients' money. They're the ones that talk to the client after they set up the online appointment and schedule the date of the celebration. So they have a pretty big job. So jumping into our first prompt here, we have leadership. This is found in chapter 13, and I wanted to use a power theory. So we're going to use expert power in this situation, which is determined by the amount of knowledge, the skills, or certifications, the experience, the past jobs that one has or holds. And those are going to be mainly important for our 2 managers and our department leaders. So there's going to be 1 leader selected out of every artist, editor, and financial team that oversees their department. And then we have the 2 managers that oversee everything, like I stated previously. How these are hired, it's going to be based off of the portfolios that the artists submit or the editors submit. So what work have they done in the past? And for the financial members, it's going to be based on the certifications that they have or prior jobs that they've had. And then external factors or promotions. So the only way that someone would be promoted to that position is if they are going above and beyond. They're showing mastery in their field, and clients are showing very positive rapport with that person or the work that they've done. So next we have motivation, which is prompt number 3, found in chapter 9. So the motivators used are going to be based off of Hertzberg's 2-factor theory, and he has his theory broken up into 2 things, which is hygiene and motivators. Hygiene doesn't necessarily motivate anybody, but it can demotivate people if these things are in line, like such as working conditions, if people aren't being supervised, as well as their salary isn't correct for the work that's being put out. So for artists, it's going to look like clean workspace, correct tools, and clear instructions for hygiene factors. And then and for financial team, for hygiene factors, we have up-to-date technology and reasonable workload. So do they have the tools, the correct tools to do their job the right way? And then for motivators, this is what drives motivation. So this is things like positive feedback, rewards for sales, how good is an artist or editor's work based off of did they bring the client's vision to life? And then this will be measured by the behaviors um, within our artists, editors, and financial members. Are they meeting their deadlines? Are they communicating their feelings? Are they showing that they care? Because if they care about their work, it's likely that they're motivated to do better. And then are they seeking extra opportunities to improve? Next, we have appraisals. So prompt number 4, which is found in chapter 5. So the appraisal performance process is broken down into 3 main things. We have personal decisions, developmental purposes, and documentation. The personal decisions are all based off of who's being promoted, fired or released, or getting a raise. And the developmental purposes are what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what can you do better, and what's already good and what should stay good based off of the client. And then finally, we have documentation. We want to make sure we're documenting everything in case of a legal issue. We want to make sure we have the correct situations documented down, how it happened, what went on, in case it was ever came to that. And then we have feedback. We always want to explain to our workers why we gave them a certain rating. And then who evaluates who? This is going to be kind of a checks and balances system. This is why I have the 2 managers and the department leaders. Department leaders will be evaluated by the 2 head managers. And then the department members will be evaluated by the department leaders. But everybody will get a say. It's not just relying on the behaviorally anchored scales or the Likert scales within the test. It's going to be based off of word of mouth as well. Like I said, we're going to be using communication, decision making, and problem solving for the managers. Those are how they're going to be rated. For artists and editors, it's going to be based off of collaboration and how much effort they are putting into their work, and are they matching our clients' needs. For financial members and advisors, we have, are they accurately moving our money correctly? Are they handling clients' money correctly? And do they have a professional tone when they're talking with our clients? Next, we have pay, which is prompt number 7, found in chapter 3. So pay levels are going to be based off positions. Artists will be paid the least. This is because certain editors can double as an artist. And as well, the room design does not take as much creativity in comparison to the editors, which is where I believe the family will be spending most of their attention. The editors are going to spend a lot of time going through pictures, videos, and it will take a lot more skill to do that. So that's why they are being paid in the middle. And then we have financial team, which will be paid the most because it requires a certification, a college degree. It requires a past job, past experience to be able to, 1, talk to clients, and 2, manage the money of our clients and the money of the business. Next, I have decided to include pay transparency because it removes bias and it's honesty as well. If it shows where our money is and where we put our stock within the employees, and it's good for recruitment. People want to know how much money they're going to make. And then finally, there's always some limitations to that, which could be possible tension, people feeling that they are doing more work than what their pay reflects. And then as well, privacy and ethics reasons. Some people don't like their pay being out there. Next, we have stress, which is prompt number 5. Stressors and positions. This is different for the team members, but it's similar for editor and artists. They could be dealing with things like burnout, attention to detail, and client demands, which could really hurt the psychological view of the job and the job that they're doing. Consequences of stress. It could be job related, which is lack of motivation. The editor doesn't feel like putting any effort into their work anymore because they just have had bad experiences with clients. Emotion related, maybe a financial advisor messes up a calculation and ruins where the money is being moved, and they just have low self-esteem. And finally, we have physiological, which is high heart rate, Maybe an artist is talking to a client when they come in and they just have so many demands and they just feel like we can't meet those demands. How we will minimize these is that we will focus on using specific behaviors and actions to cope. So maybe that artist tells the client that, we can only do these type of things, and we hope that you can operate around that, and that's all that we can do. Emotion focus, we use rationalization. How big is this problem in relation? Is it going to actually happen? Stuff like that puts it in perspective of the problem. And then some concluding factors here. So over the years, as a whole, is a company built around creating a unique experience, not selling a product. It is based on client satisfaction. We always want to meet the needs of our client. That's our number one goal. And then we also want fairness to our employees. That's why we have the two managers. That's why we have the leadership departments, the way they're set up. And then I kept it small, 20 to 25 employees for a reason. I want strong communication throughout the departments, the leaders, and the managers. I want everybody to know each other, and I want everybody to feel comfortable expressing how they feel. And then values and honesty, or we value honesty and we celebrate achievement. So if somebody does great, if somebody edits a video and the clients really loved it, we celebrate that achievement. And then checks and balances, like I mentioned before. That's why I have the company set up the way I do, is because I do not want one person having all the power. We make sure that everybody checks everybody. And here are my references. Thank you so much.